you, and welcome to Palace Fan TV for our Leicester preview video. I'm Jim Daly, and with me I've got a Leicester fan. It's Phil Holloway from Leicester Fan TV. Phil, how are you doing?
I'm good, Jim. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. So, it's Palace Leicester on Saturday. Claudio Ranieri is the Leicester manager, came in the summer. A lot of fans, and I'll be honest, me included, thought that might have been a bad decision to bring him in, but so far you've done fantastically. What were your thoughts in the summer, and what are they now?
Well, initially, my personal thoughts were, obviously everybody's heard of Claudio Ranieri, and I think there was a lot of raised eyebrows amongst lots of Leicester fans. A bit like you, Jim, I think a lot of us thought, he's a spent force, he's been here, he's been there, is he going to be any good? But very quickly, a lot of the fans, within a few days, were talking about the fact, look, come on, we're Leicester City, a bit like, we're very similar to Crystal Palace, in the fact that Ranieri is a European class manager. He's managed at the biggest clubs, he's worked with some of the biggest players, and really we're in a very lucky, privileged sort of position to have a manager like that even think about Leicester at the moment. So it shows where a team like us have come from in the last 4 or 5 years ago. We're in League One, so crikey, if we dare grumble that we've got Claudio Ranieri as our manager, I think we really needed a bit of a reality check.
Good stuff, and he seems to have really brought the best out of a lot of your players. Jamie Vardy is playing very well, and Mahrez as well, but has there been, who's been the unsung hero? Who's the player that's not quite grabbing the headlines?
Well, I think what Ranieri did very cleverly was he kept the whole backroom staff at Leicester. So all the physios, all the assistant managers, everybody stayed as it was under Nigel Pearson last year. The only person who went was Nigel Pearson. Mm-hmm. So Ranieri's come in and he's kept all the players from last season. He's shipped virtually nobody out. He's brought in 5 or 6, really quite good international quality players. But he's basically kept the side that was there last season, and most of that side was the side that got us up from the Championship 2 years ago. So he's kept with lots of the same players. As you say, Mahrez and Vardy have been getting lots of the headlines, and quite rightly so. Some of the players who have done really well, I think, are people such as Jeff Schlupp, who's a young Leicester lad. He's come through the academy. He's still trying to find out where he should play. Should it be left back? Should it be left midfield? And he's the last couple of games he's been playing out on the left wing, and with great effect. I think his defensive roles, he's just not a defender, and he was getting found out at the back. So for me, Jeff Schlupp's, he's a local talent. He's come through the ranks. He's been with us since he was 14, 15, and he's played at all the levels. So yeah, I think he's been our unsung hero this season. He's
got a great name as well. What I like about him is his name sounds like what you do when you drink water, which is one of your other players as well. So I think it's a nice combo for those guys. Now, what about Mahrez then? You mentioned him. He had a fantastic start to the season. I put him in my fantasy team, and as soon as that happened, Ranieri dropped him. So what's been going on there? Why is he not playing?
I think Ranieri has used all his experience, and he spotted a couple of games ago. We had Arsenal at home, and Arsenal really, when they're on fire, as you probably saw against Man United, when they totally demolished those, Arsenal came to Leicester and they took us to pieces, to be fair. I mean, we gave them a good game. We went toe to toe, but Mahrez is one of these players where he's a greedy little so-and-so, and it's very frustrating to watch as a fan sometimes because he holds on to the ball too long. He wants to take on 6 players twice, but this season he's been doing it. So much as you might sit and watch and moan sometimes because you think, what is he doing? He needs to learn that extra bit of the game, which is to pass the ball sometimes. Against Arsenal, he had a bit of a nightmare because I think he knew that lots of people have been talking about him. I think he wanted to take on Arsenal, who's probably the most skillful side in the Premier League with those sorts of players. And I don't know if he was trying to put himself under the nose of Arsene Wenger, but it went all wrong. The next week, after a really bad performance by Mahrez where he was took off, Ranieri stuck him on the bench, and I think that's old school manager sort of saying, sorry mate, you might think you're the new Ronaldo or Lionel Messi, which you're not, so you can sit it out on the bench. To be fair, he came back on in the second half against Southampton and again turned the game around for us. So I think most fans will expect to see him start on Saturday against your lot.
And what's been the deal with Leicester's comeback form? Because they've won the most points from losing positions in the Premier League this season.
Yeah.
What's the secret behind that?
Well, Jim, the good news for your guys is we can't keep a clean sheet. That's why we have to keep.
Neither can we.
No, I think there's going to be goals on Saturday. I certainly think there's going to be goals. Yeah, we keep having to come back. The defence looks pretty solid. You know, we've got a good back four as it is at the moment. Lots of fans are thinking should we playing five at the back, which is what kept us up last season. But we've gone for four at the back. Ranieri's put that in. We've got Casper Schmeichel in goal. You know, we look pretty decent at the back, but we can't keep a clean sheet even when we're winning. So expect that Palace will come and, you know, Leicester fans will think we'll score a goal. But what's happened is the back end of last season and this season, we've just got that sort of fighting spirit. And there's a phrase that we use, which is foxes never quit, which makes no sense to most other people. but if we go 1-0 down or 2-0 down, most fans, we've got that impetus at the moment where if we were to get a goal, we feel like we could get two more and we could probably go on and win the game. But it's down to the defence, just can't keep a clean sheet.
Well, the good news for you, Phil, is that Palace have no strikers on Saturday. Dwight Gale is suspended after being sent off last week. So what do you think the score is going to be?
Well, Jim, I think there's going to be goals. I think Palace are going to come. You might have no strikers, but that won't stop us letting you score at least one goal. I think people like Vardy and Mahrez, we've got goals all over the place from Leicester. So I'm thinking that you'll score, we'll get two. So I'm going to go 2-1, probably with Palace scoring first.
Okay, good stuff. Well, lots of goals. Good, Phil. Thank you very much for joining me. Really appreciate it.
No problems, Jim. Hope you lose.
Right back at you.
Yeah.
Palace fans, don't forget to subscribe for all these weekly preview and review videos. Comment below with your thoughts. What do you think the score's going to be? And follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And we'll see you again soon. Cheers.